Hooked on the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches and Palm Beach County, the best way to experience Florida. Welcome to this week's episode of Hooked on the Palm Beaches. When it comes to the history and tradition of big game fishing in the Palm Beaches, there's no more iconic spot than the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, founded in 1934. Hop on board this week as we join the oldest and most prestigious sail fishing tournament in the world, the Silver Sailfish Derby. You'll experience the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
There he comes up. Woo, look at that. Pretty fish.
We got a big one, boys!
I don't think it gets any better than this.
I just cannot believe how many fish there are here.
This is why you come here. This is why we do what we do. Off of Palm Beach, bro. This is the kind of Jurassic Park stuff that lives out here. Woo! We did it, brother.
It blows me away the fishing opportunities that we have in and around Palm Beach County.
Some of the best game fishing that you can have in the entire world.
Wanted to welcome everybody to the 83rd Silver Sailfish Derby. You'll be fishing in pond-like conditions tomorrow. I heard it's going to be just gorgeous out there.
Can I get a radio check?
Boat 18, you are clear to go.
Mini boat, yeah, me. What's your number? Boat 1, checking out. 24, checking out.
Boat 36, you are clear to go.
The Silver Sailfish Derby is the oldest sail fishing tournament in the world and amongst the world's most prestigious. In fact, this year's tournament is the 83rd annual Silver Sailfish Derby. This tournament has only been cancelled 3 years, and those years were during World War II, from 1943 to 1945. Amongst the long list of celebrities and local anglers that are associated with the Silver Sailfish Derby are iconic names like Ernest Hemingway, Jack Nicklaus and Sam Snead, Ted Williams, Nick Smith, and John Rybovich. The West Palm Beach Fishing Club has been very careful to ensure that the Silver Sailfish Derby remains one of the most iconic billfish tournaments in the world. And to do this, they restrict the competition to only 50 boats, 50 of the most professional anglers in the area. The boats range in size from 27 feet right up to 90 feet. And I can tell you that this year, the competition is in for some pretty nasty weather. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the smaller boats perform in these very tricky conditions.
Yeah, Mini boat 29 coming up here.
The Silver Sailfish Derby, like a lot of tournaments, is a fish at your own risk tournament, all right? We do not limit the size of boats in this tournament. Our boundaries are Boca Inlet to the south and the power plant to the north. It's a 20-pound test tournament, all circle hooks, of course. Leaders, 15 feet a leader, 5 feet a double line. That includes all of your gear. It's a 4-line tournament. 4 lines in the water at any one time max. A couple years ago, we got rid of observers and we went to video release. So you better have some GoPros, you better have some backup batteries, you better have a lot of SD cards. You better have somebody who knows how to point a camera at a fish. Tipping the leader doesn't count anymore. You have to physically touch the leader. Get your video cameras charged up, and by all means, please be safe tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for fishing the Silver Sailfish Derby.
Hooked on the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches and Palm Beach County, the best way to experience Florida, and by Pelagic High Performance Offshore Gear.
Day one, it's blowing, but they're not phased. Got our release cards here. We got donuts and coffee. We're sail fishing, buddy.
The eerie blue light of dawn on day one brought with it winds in excess of 30 miles per hour. And the boats heading out to check in with the committee boat were in for a serious surprise, as the conditions were certainly touch and go. But these are some of the best anglers, captains, and crews in the world. Don't try this at home.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the West Palm Beach Fishing Club's 83rd Annual Silver Sailfish Derby. It is officially 8 o'clock. Lines in. Everyone lines in. Good luck today. The Silver Sailfish Derby, 83rd running Silver Sailfish Derby, 50 boats. Some of the best teams in the country are here fishing this, and man, what a great tournament. It's just an awesome tournament. So what happens is when people catch a fish, they try to call in by VHF radio, and not always can they reach us on the VHF radio. And so we have a cell phone, we have a landline, and they call in to record their fish. And when they do, we give them a time, and the official time we have right here in front of us. We also give them the number of the fish. So they'll say boat number 11, right now 1 fish for Bob. We write it down, then we tell them, okay, Bob, you're gonna be fish number 1 at 8:03. So we try to keep score that way, and sometimes it gets pretty chaotic when you have all these boats calling fish in at the same time. When the fish are called in, what we do is we have a live scoring so that the boats can actually see what's going on. So we put it in the computer, and it has the official time and everything, and then anyone else who's like not fishing the Derby that wants to follow it all day long, you can go to the West Palm Beach Fishing Club.org's website and you click on live scoring, and you can actually see what's happening.
Go, 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 go! Stay back, baby, stay back, stay back, stay back.
It's difficult and it takes time, but you know, they write down on their sheet who it is, we write down on our sheet who it is, and at the end of the day, we compare notes and hopefully we got it all right. It can be challenging, though, that's for sure.
Since its inception, the Silver Sailfish Derby has promoted conservation techniques that are now globally accepted across the world in fishing tournaments. For example, the Silver Sailfish Derby pioneered the iconic red flag pennant, which dictates a successful release of a sailfish, and it's also promoted sustainable fishing practices throughout its running. In fact, recently there's also been the addition of circle hooks being used to minimize the damage inflicted on this iconic species of game fish. The Silver Sailfish Derby was one of the first fishing tournaments worldwide to promote catch and release. And this tradition continues to today, so that any winning anglers of the competition have to release their sailfish successfully, with video records to prove it.
Going into the teeth of it!
with the first release. Tagged fish, big one. This is John Duvall's fish. Solid leader touch. Nice tag, Dane.
Colin, hit your release, boat one, fish number 76 at 148.
Coming right at us now.
Fish 83 to 226, boat off course, boat number one.
Got it.
Sometimes poor Chuck gets going and he hears me say something and he starts writing it before he tries to feed off of what I'm saying and ends up writing stuff down. He uses a lot of whiteout. That's why he has a pad of paper right here, so he can write here and less mistakes on the sheet.
It's a tough deal.
It is a tough deal.
I can't write, I can't hear.
You know, that's what happens when you get volunteers, you know.
Jack, grab your spool.
Official time is 4 o'clock. It's over. Line's out. 4 o'clock. Someone pass it down the line, please.
You know, all in the last the last 15 minutes, we had a good run of fish, and that can happen. We had one boat that caught 6 fish in the last, in the last hour, and they had 0 all day. So,
32 minutes.
They're ready for tomorrow. They've lined themselves up for tomorrow. No fish all day, 6 in the last 15 minutes. It's anybody's game. If you look at the score sheet here, you've got 1 boat, Native Son, with 9, 2 boats with 7, 2 with 6, 3 with 5, a bunch of 4s and a bunch of 3s. Anybody can win this tournament, and that's why they call it the Derby.
27-foot boat. It was a little wet. It was a little wet. You got it.
At the end of day 1, Native Son, a 39-foot CV captained by Art Sapp, made its way proudly through the Palm Beach Inlet, flying its 9 flags. And I can tell you something, both captain and crew were incredibly relieved to get out of those horrific conditions. Hooked on the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches and Palm Beach County, the best way to experience Florida, and by Pelagic High Performance Offshore Gear. Day 2 of the Silver Sailfish Derby, and believe it or not, conditions have worsened overnight and the wind is blowing even stronger as the 50-odd boats make their way back out through the Palm Beach Inlet to battle each other and the terrible conditions.
All right, guys. Hey, here we go. Day 2, the 83rd annual Silver Sailfish Derby. Lines in. The time is 8 o'clock. Lines in, everybody.
Day 2.
Woo! Got him on the surface. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. Reel. Get him.
Day 2. See ya. Got him. Cut. Right there. Stop. Cut. Cutters. Cut. Cut.
Yeah. 121, 849. Got it. Leader.
Come right in the boat. And that's Billy B's fish.
Oh, God. Come up the shore.
Get out of the water. Nice. Good job, Chris. Good job, Billy. Good job, guys. That leader's out of the water. Good job, bud. Good job, brother. Right out of cap.
So a lot of times what happens is it gets really busy all at once, and we can't figure that out, right? That's fishing. But I think in the last 32 minutes, we've had 13 fish. So it can happen really, really quick. This is day 2. We're at 23 fish for the day. We're at 135 fish total for the tournament. And it seems like when they bite, though, everybody gets a bite. It's like they found them, or the moon kicks in, or it's timing, whatever it is, but it's been pretty good this morning. I think it's going to end up with well over 200 fish.
Come on, Root. Nice, got it, got it. All right. All right, that is John's fish, and that's Austin's fish. Nope, that's a third fish. That is a third fish. And that's, all right, so that, yep, that's all 3 fish. That's Austin's, that's John's, and that's Billy's. We have confirmation on all 3 fish. Right there.
When conditions are right and the bait fish are present, sailfish swim in schools, and it's not unusual to get multiple hookups on a boat. And this was experienced on day 2 by old number 7 catching a quad of sailfish and successfully releasing all 4.
All right, guys, it's lines out. Lines out. Congratulations. What a great day. Congratulations. Lines out. The 83rd annual Silver Sailfish Derby is now over.
Hooked on the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches and Palm Beach County, the best way to experience Florida, and by Pelagic High Performance Offshore Gear.
Dialed in, red release pennants, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Started at the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, 1938, doing it old school, Palm Beach style.
This iconic and highly sought-after trophy is the prize that all these anglers are shooting for in the Silver Sailfish Derby. This fantastic trophy, which is incredibly heavy to pick up, was commissioned by a well-known Palm Beach jeweler in 1935, making this the Ray Trophy, one of the oldest and iconic fishing trophies in the world.
Yesterday we 9 out of 10, and today 5 out of 8.
As the Silver Sailfish Derby came to a close at the end of a grueling day 2, the leaderboard had changed, with old number 7 taking top honors with a whopping 11 fish caught and released at the end of day 2, and Native Son taking second place honors, followed by day C in third place.
Man, we just won the Derby. Finally, it's been 10 years in the making. We're stoked. Couldn't be any happier, and it didn't have a fish by 3 o'clock yesterday. It was pretty dismal, and so to turn it all out, it was a sweet victory. And with the quad was pretty special. So we're stoked. So happy to be a part of it, and just the most historic tournament around here. So we're just tickled to death.
I would like to congratulate the team, the crew of old number 7, winning the